Peter Grill in the Philosopher time is a rather strange title for this kind of anime. We have a harem on our hands, and a pretty unique one considering the genre.
My engagement to Lady Louvelia is now official!
This causes no change to our objective.
Now why would I say that? I mean, the show definitely follows the standard structure of a harem with all the stereotypes and cliches.
Peter Grill, I finally found you.
But where Peter Grill distinguishes himself from all the rest is how the protagonist interacts with the girls around him. Usually in these type of shows, the harem king is stuck holding hands or kissing one of the females. It's a compromise to keep the attention and have the main character awkwardly flirt with his harem till the end of the story. Well, that gimmick is ignored and replaced by a more practical reason for which one lucky guy gets to enjoy so many women.
For us ogres, producing strong offspring is a pretty big deal, and well, in terms of breeding partners, a champion like you would be perfect.
That's right, guys. Peter is going all the way with them, and by that, I mean he's doing the nasty. Hell, yeah. Finally an anime where some dude gets to bump uglies with his harem. First things first, Peter Grill is a rather handsome and successful warrior.
Your new champion from the Double Punch Warrior Guild, Peter Grill!
Indeed!
Actually, he's the strongest fighter in all the land, which definitely increases his appeal as a mating partner. And that is what this is all about, breeding with the strongest genes. Most gods from his harem only want the protagonist for his champion seed.
We merely wish to conceive a child with the world's strongest warrior.
Finally a show that does not beat around the bush, pun intended, and actually gets straight to the point of this fantasy madness. It is so refreshing to see things happen for a change. As I said before, in this particular genre, the protagonist most of the time simply hangs around and looks at girls' panties. There are some awesome exceptions, of course, where the harem king enjoys the estrogen paradise around him, but they are far too tame compared to this title. Some people dislike the structure here, as it's way more straightforward and has less scenarios between the girls and the main character before they actually hook up. I see it as innovative and even a bit brilliant. For someone who has watched over 50 harem titles, I came to appreciate this show for its efficiency. Finally, the girls are getting something for their work. It was so frustrating to see uninterested or insecure boys ignore the efforts of girls trying to objectify their bodies in front of him. Nothing against acting like cats in heat all the time, but it kinda got a slightly bit repetitive, even for a hardcore edgy fan like me.
The hell do you refuse to get an erection whenever you're in my presence?
Peter Grill and the Philosopher time comes in as a combo breaker in the harem genre and gives me exactly what I needed to revigorate my faith in edgy anime. Let me talk a bit about Peter, the protagonist of this erotic adventure. He's a rather handsome young man, and has even blonde hair, which is a bit of a rarity when it comes to harem kings. Usually we get the average brunette,
Grades, looks, brains, height, and weight. Average.
and the only other blonde examples I can think of would be the MC from Haganai and Dragonar Academy. Peter is an overpowered badass who has proven himself to be the strongest man alive. A rather cool premise to build a harem on. Also, he's in his early 20s, which makes him legal for all sorts of abuse. Peter is in for a ride, because as of now, he's the most desired mating partner in all the realm.
I have no interest in being your stupid stud horse!
On my pride as an ogre, you shall not get away!
And all races want a piece of that nasty junk. Now being the toughest bloke on the block, and having easy women jump on you all the time, sounds like a dream scenario for most men out there. I would certainly enjoy it, but the show had to add a bit of conflict to stretch the story and give us more of a comedic experience rather than an action epic. You see, Peter is a honorable knight who has sworn his loyalty to his betrothed, Lady Louvelia.
Louvelia, my love!
Hello, dear Peter. I've been waiting.
On the surface, this is the perfect innocent, heroic story of a knight falling in love with a fair maiden. This pure, noble premise made the experience even more enjoyable, as we see his dream of staying faithful to his lover being crushed by promiscuous women. It's funny how Louvelia is so pure and clueless when it comes to marriage in baby making.
You do know how babies are made, right?
When two people who love each other pray to the heavens, a stork brings their new child and leaves it in the cabbage patch.
All the other girls that abuse Peter are focused primarily on getting in bed with him. They want his genes for their clan, nation, or personal desire for revenge.
I shall harness that power to crush all those Orkland pigs who have made my life a living hell!
Which makes the actions even more perverted and shameful as they initially appeared to be. This time he's using the main character for his seeds, and the show evidences the stress and trauma Peter has to endure as he's been abused and depraved by women around him. At the beginning I thought it would be nice to have so many girls only be interested in your body, but after seeing the inner struggle and shame Peter has had to deal with, I'm not so sure anymore that a harem is such a brilliant idea.
I can't bring myself to throw it all away. I can't bear to leave my relationship with Louvelia behind.
It's funny how this show gives us all the benefits of the genre, yet it also evidences the negatives of the very concept it glorifies. Damn, this might even be a bit psychological. Not only comedy, but drama and thriller. Peter has to keep his junk safe all the time. He cannot enjoy a meal without being abused. Makes me rethink my life objectives. I like Louvelia. She's very respectful and has a thick, voluptuous body. You can see that she trusts and likes Peter, which is even more funny, as we see how he keeps on cheating on her.
The mere notion of Peter ever betraying my trust is simply and utterly preposterous.
Have to also mention her father. He's the main antagonist of the series. Consider that Peter is unmatched in strength and can defeat any opponent with a single swing of his sword. The show had to give him a political and social rival who can challenge his way of life in engagement to Louvelia. The main character is fighting on both sides. First hand, he has to stay pure and faithful to Louvelia, which he keeps on failing at, and second, he has to dodge the traps laid in front of him by her father, who is also the guild master.
I am well aware of what you're trying to do, Father. It's obvious. However, you're wasting your time.
Rather busy and complicated life he has, and frankly, it isn't his fault that he keeps on cheating on his fiancée. You see, these guys are fighting dirty, and use whatever means necessary to make him bend to their will. The elf girl even uses magic to blackmail him into submission. Very nasty and unfair stuff. And abused even the mightiest of heroes is unable to stop. But enough about his suffering. Let's talk about the good part of this misfortune. The harem is pretty amazing. All girls except Louvelia are from different races and have a rather direct approach in their quest to inherit his strength. First one to the party are the ogre sister.
Very well then.
Okie dokie.
Fortunately, they only have horns and a few tribal tattoos on their arms and hips. Otherwise, they look like smoking hot, attractive young women. Oh yeah. They also have a tail. We're dealing with a clueless, energetic young sister and a voluptuous and seductive only child. So yeah, if I were Peter, I would marry them. Strangely enough, they don't care about marriage, only their mating. They want his seed. They want his seed and nothing more. This premise might work. I mean, Peter can have his wife in Louvelia and enjoy working as a genetic supplier for a woman that asks no other commitment of him. I'll let you guys decide whether this deal is good or not, but Peter seems to be rather frustrated by this predicament. The ogre sisters are called Mimi and Lisa. Of course, Mimi is the lowly and Lisa is the hot one. Later into the season, we learn that Lisa is a princess within the line to be the leader of her clan.
I, Lisa Alpacas, hereby acknowledge my position as the crown princess of Ogrestan and heir to the throne.
And she also has an admirer. More on that later. As of now, all we have to know is that these girls are hot and nasty, and Peter ended up sleeping with them on many occasions. Again, it wasn't his fault. But I digress. Next go on the list is the lowly elf ambassador, vegan Eldriel. She's a representative sent by her people to acquire the most powerful seed for her nation. She uses magic to arouse Peter, as her body is petite and lacks the double D implants to charm the champion. Alec has a superiority complex. She looks at him as inferior and gets visibly frustrated when she is outplayed by the others. There's also the half-orc, half-human, piglet, Pancetta. She's the one I like the least, but still, a delicious woman nonetheless. She has more of a personal motive for his seed, but she also abuses him constantly. Now, the last arc in the story is about this buff ogre dude who came to marry Lisa. He ended up with the muscle-obsessed nerdy girl, however.
Lady Michi.
My dear Spartacus!
Last thing to add about the show is that it has a lot of amazing nudity. He has so much female body, eye candy, in every single episode. I give Peter Grill and the Philosopher time a 7.2 out of 10. This must be the most fanservice-packed harem anime ever made, and for that reason alone, it has earned my respect.